the contest originally started out that the total rig area and the stab area was limited to 1,000 square inches, and OS 61FX with the muffler specified. Then there was some more rules regarding the flight of the aircraft, such as that you had to make at least one complete circuit, and the only thing that was allowed to depart the plane would be the propeller. Anything else comes off, that doesn't count. So the first plane we made, it came out at over 12 pounds, I think, wasn't it? Yeah. And we figured that's pretty heavy. So we've built again now, and we've made a number of changes. We changed the longerons in size and tried to lighten up everything as much as we could. Now, coming in here tonight, I'm getting a little older, and I was carrying the fuselage, and my fingers just opened, just absolutely open. And I had an unnecessary, unplanned, and unwanted drop test. And it didn't survive it too well in the front, but that's an evening's work to fix that. They showed up one thing, that we've got a weak structure here, so increase the strength of that with some plywood. The wingtips come off, and they have a screw underneath holding it on, so that it won't spread out and separate completely. The last plane we made had this basically the same dimensions as this one, except we had 1 inch less cord on it.
25 inches less span. 25 inches less span.
And 25 inches less span. The main problem, however, was that we had the ailerons inboard, and it was a pig to fly, just a pig. It would take off, it would turn a little bit, and then once it started to turn, it would keep turning, and you had a hard time getting it back. We figured with the ailerons bigger and on the tips, it'll make a big difference. The ailerons are all drilled out. The elevators are all drilled out. The elevator, if you'll notice, this is a Clark Y this way. It'll be on the plane upside down. And there's a reason for that, eh, Knox?
What, are you flying in Australia?
That's very fast.
Well, to have stability, you got to have down thrust on the tail. As you move the center of gravity, let's say you start way ahead and start moving it back. When you get to the point where the tail plane has the same angle of attack as the main plane, that's the end of stability. Any farther than that, you're unstable. So, but in order to fly it handily, you should have a little bit of down thrust on the tail. So, and the easiest way to get down thrust without drag is put the airport upside down.
All of the hinges are monocoque. If you don't know what a monocoque hinge is, we put a piece of monocoque on here, then we close it, and we put another piece of monocoque on here. And you talk about strong. That is really strong. There's no way that's coming up. The other thing we had to make sure of was the center of gravity. And the pieces of metal that we'll be using here, we tried metal the first time, and the problem was that there wasn't enough space in the bay to hold all the metal. So we've gone to lead this time. And we've got a bay in here. We've got to take the wing off. And then this here just covers the wing to streamline the whole thing. Then this cover here just lifts off. See if I can get it to lift off. Like so. And the weight bay is here. 2 nylon rods here, 1/4 plus a second hole, a third hole back here to just stabilize the weight. We will run a nut, put the weights in, then run a nut down to hold the weight in place, and then this will just keep the weight at the back from sliding around.
What are you using for weights, Fred?
Lead. Roughly 8 inches by 4 inches. And we've got close to 40 pounds, haven't we?
Yeah, 37 pounds. We'll never use it all. Well, we might use up to 30.
Yeah. Our plan, our hope is to lift 30 pounds. They held the contest last year, And last year, the winning plane lifted 22, well, roughly 22.5 pounds. And when you figure out that that's only a 61 lifting 22 pounds, that is a lot. You can see the rib shape.
Oh,
It's got an undercamber. For a good lift. The wheels are 3 layers of 1/4-inch balsa, 1/32 plywood on the outside. And then they're drilled out 1-inch holes and 1/2-inch holes. It's almost empty. The prop we'll be using, we did a lot of testing on the prop. And we ended up with a 14.7, I think, isn't it? And it gives us a slower RPM, but it gives us the best pull. The landing gear itself is double layered, but the feature on it is this spring in the center to keep it from spreading completely, because it comes down hard. The drawings are all AutoCAD, and I've had to learn it the hard way. And we had the prints made. I think it was one of the longest prints that they had over in the shop they've ever seen. But we've made a lot of revisions as we went along. Landing gear revisions. Tailplane revision. One of the problems I ran into, which I didn't expect, is that on the stab here, join the 2 pieces together. Since it's a monocoat, I've got a dowel in here. And the idea was that this would fit up tight against here. What I hadn't planned on was that that dowel is not on the hinge line, so consequently it moves back.
Oh, yeah.
And by the time it moves back 3/8 of an inch, and the main spar down here is a 1/4 inch. So I had to move the whole thing back 3/4 or 3/8 of an inch. And it should fit fine now with no problems, but that remains to be seen. This piece here was just a pain in the butt, because when you get the wing on, then you've got this open area here. So we wanted that covered, but the problem was that the wing saddles back here, so when you put this on, it covers up part of the weight bay. So I couldn't make it permanent, so I made it so it comes apart. And as I say, I was holding it here tonight and down it went.
Very good.